Yes, guys, welcome to Bikini Insider with Marty and Kerry. And we were just literally talking before we started this, because we're 7.5 weeks out from the Olympia, Kerry Sexton. And we were just talking about contract signing, because we've not seen the video yet.
No,
The
we've
contract
not
is signed,
really.
right? It
Yeah,
is
it's
done.
all signed. It is all signed. I think I don't know why I didn't get round to actually doing a post on it, to be honest. I actually feel like I've not been that fantastic consistently on social media, to be honest, recently. I'm not sure why. I'm just kind of like very much zoned into what I'm doing. I'm still doing all my YouTube updates. I'm filming another one tomorrow.
Ooh, yes.
And I'm trying to be more present on my stories and stuff. But yeah, it's unlike me. I usually post every single day. And it's like the last 2 weeks, I think it's gone like a gap of 4 days and stuff. That's not good.
But you have sent the contract off, right?
I've sent the contract
Okay.
off, yeah, for sure. Yeah. So we are doing it.
Marty, I mean, have you any more stuff planned for Las Vegas? Because of course you've booked your flight. You're going to the Olympia. Well, in fact, let me ask. I haven't even asked you what's that week gonna look like apart from, you know, seeing Kerry.
I'm so
What
excited for that, honestly. Like, do you know what I can't wait for? And I keep like visualizing it, like walking into the meet and greet and seeing Carrie's table
Ah,
with
Oh
Carrie's
yeah.
badge. Like, I'm literally going to be like the biggest fangirl ever.
oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I have got some merchandise as well that is coming out.
Oh, you need to kit us
Um,
out then. That's going to be sick.
I'm really excited. I've not like dropped them across socials to even show like what they look like, but we have got a couple of different variations. So yeah, excited.
Amazing.
I've not asked you, Kerry. Do you and have you got any family coming over for the Olympia?
I actually do not have any family coming over, but I have three of my clients. I
Okay.
have one of my besties there, Marnie, obviously. Yeah, I don't have any family. Unfortunately, they are unable to make it, but they are supporting from across the world, as always.
And Marty, you got one of your posing clients coming with you, is that right, Kirsty?
Yeah, Kirsty's actually in prep for her pro debut. So she's actually going to do the Hurricane Pro, which is the week after the Olympia. So I kind of just like sprung the idea on her because we were doing like an in-person posing class. And I said like, oh, like, have you kind of picked your show dates yet? And this was back months ago now. And she was like, I'm just a bit unsure. Like, I'd like to do a show in the States and what have you. And she was like, I just can't quite find one that's going to fit like with my timeline of my prep. So anyway, I got the calendar out and I was just scrolling through and I was like, well, you've got this show, you've got that show, the Hurricane Pro is like, and then I was like, it's a week after the Olympia. And I said, I'm going to be in Vegas to like, why don't you just come out? And she said, well, yeah, that's not a bad idea because obviously when we compete in the States, you usually have to go over there like a good week before minimum to acclimate and stuff with the time difference and all of that. So yeah, she was like, screw it, I'll tie it in and we'll do the Olympia and then yeah, so she's gonna be like basically in peak week almost as well, for that show. But what better way to get motivated for a pro
I
debut
was
than
gonna
that?
say, can you imagine the
You know what
100%.
I mean?
buzz? Like that is, yeah, that's gonna be a buzz.
Yeah,
And
that's exciting, but
did I also see on Kerry's story, Kerry went through a posing online with yourself, Marty. Did I see it early this week? That was right.
Honestly, it
Hour
yeah,
was so
long.
good. Honestly,
yeah.
like I took so much away from it, which was really, really good. It's always, like I say, like no matter what like level you are, it's so good, like just connecting with like other people that have a good eye for it as well, because you don't always see like the little things, like if you rock slightly from like a hair flick, for example, like did. Marnie picked up on it. So yeah, some really useful points to move forward with, which is exciting.
Mhm.
What was the most useful point? If you had to pick one of the many that you
Yeah,
got,
I want
what
to
was the
know.
one that really stuck out that you think, you know what, listeners, this is a tip that you might would have given you, but this is the one that stuck with you.
To be
Put you
honest,
on the spot.
I'm trying to think, what would that be? It probably would be the I always like rock when I do my hair flick. So it was the weight distribution and just putting a bit more pressure onto my back foot to flick round, and then I just stay put now instead of having like a little bit of a wobble. That was quite a big one. I'm trying to think of everything else we did. We did go through quite a lot of different things, to be fair. Broke some
Yeah,
things
we did.
down. Money gave me her like opinion on some things. Some things I'll change, some things I'll keep how I want it to keep. And it's just kind of a
Yeah,
bit of like a mix of the two. So yeah,
this
it
is
was
it. I
very,
think
very valuable.
when you pose with somebody that does have a bit more experience, like there's obviously varying degrees of that because, for example, like I have, yeah, a few clients who are making pro debuts, like Gabby as well, Gabby Hemsley, and
Yeah.
she, I've had this feeling when I was doing my own pro debut posing routine because obviously you go from having like the standard amateur routine of like beeline for the front of the stage, front pose, back pose, exit, and that's kind of it. And you want to just get in and get out with the time frame you've got. But then I think it can be a bit overwhelming when you first go into the pro league because you suddenly feel like you've got all this free reign of like, well, now the floodgates open if I can do this pose and that pose. But I do think like as you obviously Kerry's been competing as a pro for way longer than I have. But I think again, it's like you need that balance of keeping what makes her feel her most confident self, but also still squeezing the most out of those specific poses that she wants to hit, just to try and make things pop more, or like, yeah, like fix any little, not errors, but like that could be an area of the routine where she might feel a bit unstable. So like, I was like, hang on a minute, just do that again. I just want to like really study where your weight is in the shoe and things like that. And this is what it comes down to. It's those tiny little details because obviously at the pro level, nobody has a hair out of place. So you want to minimize that happening
Exactly.
through
Yeah.
the whole routine. But yeah, it was really nice to collaborate. And yeah, I mean, obviously, Carrie's great at what she does anyway with her routine and stuff. So I think it'll be interesting to see as well, like, how, because it's going to be more condensed than normal, I guess. Like, how long would you say your routine is normally, Carrie, at other pro shows? Because you've
To be
got
quite honest with you, I am actually someone that does usually keep it quite
shorter.
short, if I'm honest, because like I practice the back walk and I put it into my routine, like it's in there now. I
Mhm.
never end up doing it. I just take it out, if I'm honest, because
I,
I do think it's best just to not over
mm,
pose and to take so much time, like for the judges to see your flaws at the end of the day. So I
yeah,
think from just going to front to back is going to be the way that I do move forward with this. And it still allows me to show the best parts of my physique. I think my back walk up until this year was something that I always wanted to hide. However, I do feel like if I wanted to put that in, that it is now a strength.
I would agree after
To be
seeing it
honest,
on
yeah, which
Monday.
I'm really surprised at. Like when I walk to the back, I'm just so shocked at how full and just there my glutes are. So I'm really happy about that.
Yeah,
So we might have to whack that in there at one of the shows, but I doubt it will be the Olympia because there's so many athletes, and I think it
yeah.
needs to be just a front to back and off, if I'm honest.
I think, yeah, like obviously, if you do include the walk to the back, you then have to get back to the front of the stage as
Exactly.
well. So it's like you've kind of got to double the time taken. But
Yeah.
also,
So
I think as well, it's almost kind of nice potentially to keep that secret weapon in your back pocket
yes,
because
I completely
if
agree.
if they're really impressed, which I'm sure there will be, then it's like we need to see this athlete in the first call out. We need to see the walk. Like they want to
Yes.
see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's
Whereas
so true.
when you do it in your routine before there's even been a call out, they've kind of already seen it on you. Whereas it's good to kind of show that in the lineup and give them,
Yeah.
you always leave them wanting more. That's like a
Yes,
really good
that
tip.
is literally it, and that's the kind of thing that I've always kind of gone off. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's hard because again, like you've just said there, you feel really confident with it, so of course you want to show it. But I think everything else, like your glutes from any pose, in my opinion, like you the shelf in the front pose is just unbelievable. Like your glute looks stuck on. It's so full and round. So
It has come on a lot. Like, I am really surprised at that. Like, even when I practice posing, I'm sort of like looking in the mirror, like, geez, like it actually looks like it's been stuck on. Like that's what I've always dreamed of.
Well, look, we are gonna do a little history recap of Kerry Sexton, the Olympia dream, the road to Olympia. But before we do that, I do think we need to look back on a show on the weekend because there was
Yeah.
another person who got her Olympia ticket. Let's quickly bring her up. Here we go. Let's see if I can find the video. Showdown
Yay.
Lee, where is she? Okay, this video I posted is the only video of a walk, but it's all speed up because the person who posted the story did this version. But did you watch the show? Did you get a chance to catch up with results?
I just caught up like with the results across social media. I didn't actually watch it. Watch it.
Yeah, same.
But look, it'll be a sixth Olympia. She's
Yeah,
back for
that's
sixth
crazy,
time.
isn't it?
Top 10 last year, and she's back. She's back with Olympia. She explained in a recent video why she didn't peak to how she wanted to on the last show and why this one was better. But I mean, you girls, what's your thoughts? I mean, can she be a threat, maybe pushing towards the top six? What are your thoughts?
Uh, it
I, go on, Kerry.
I mean, you just literally don't know. She is always up there, isn't she? Like, let's be real. And I think there's no doubt that she's going to be bringing more condition. I believe that was probably her feedback, even still from this show. And you can see that she made like massive improvements in just a week, you know? So it's going to be very interesting to see. We already know that she's got one of the best structures out there, a really beautiful look. So with 7.5 weeks to go, a lot can be done in that time. She'll be able to dig back in, reverse back out, freshen up. It will be a whole different look. So yeah,
Yeah, I would agree. I think as well, like, she's got such a striking look as well, like
yeah,
very unique, the hair, and I think that purple suit on her is absolutely gorgeous as well, can I just say? I think it
yeah.
really pops. Um, but yeah, I mean, she's a household name, and like you said, she's always up there. And I think, I mean, I'm not sure where she placed last year, but I feel like she's like in the sort of top 10 range, isn't she? So it's one of those like, we know this, we say it every week, but like bikini just flip-flops, doesn't it? And if we look at last year, like, and how Jazzy did, and I'm sure they've got the same coach, right? So like, it's just anything's possible for any of these girls, really. Do we need to give a shout out to Anna?
Well, we're going to touch
Oh
on that in
yeah.
a moment. We are. Just give me one sec. Let's just go into this weekend's lineup. We're in Spain, and we got look the shows are coming less and
Olympian.
less now. Get to Olympia. So let's have a look at this lineup. We've already just mentioned Anna, which we're going to go into a little bit of detail in a moment. But who are the other girls that stick out?
Chantel Hill is an Olympian,
Yeah.
so that definitely sticks out to me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
need my
we
glasses.
give a shout out to Lily Sakanova as well. I'm
Hmm.
excited for her to get back on stage. She's such a sweetheart, and yeah, I love her look as well. She's beautiful, and I think yeah, judging by her social media and stuff, she's looking on point. So
Rania's there.
uh, yes.
The watch.
So let's bring up because I did a post yesterday, and that is of Anna. We've done seven shows so far
Oh,
this year and something I think, Kerry, you can also relate to because you've gone through this as well
Yeah.
in last year and trying to secure your Olympia ticket. We got 3 seconds and four third place. Top three in all seven shows she's done. With the first one, which started back, the UK one, that must have been back in April. The
Yeah,
first show,
very
April.
long
We are
season.
in now the third week in August.
That is crazy, isn't it?
I
What a
mean,
great season. Honestly, it would be great to see her take that first place just
mhm.
because of where she's been this year, how long she's been dieting. She's been to the Olympia before.
Can I
Yeah,
play devil's advocate?
Mm,
You say great season, and I've posted this because I want to see Anna at the Olympia. She was at the Olympia in 2024.
mm.
She's coming this close, so really, like, if you don't get Olympia qualification in 2025, having been there 2024, and you've had so many near misses, how would you look back at that season?
I think every season's like a learning, isn't it? You do see other pros that compete at the Olympia, then don't. Like, it's one of those
But this
things.
volume of shows as well, like she's clearly in the mix. She's
Mm,
in the running. She's being looked at by the judges, but it's always narrowly missing out. And she's proved in the past that she can get to Olympia. She's been there
yeah,
already.
yeah, yeah. She's just got that resilience. Like, I really honestly wouldn't put it past her for getting there this year. It's
I
just a
agree.
case of keep turning up, if I'm honest.
Surely Spain this weekend looks like a good one for her to secure that
I think so,
qualification.
yeah. I mean, we can pretty much guarantee she's going to be one of the favourites, and
Definitely.
the
Yeah.
judges are going to have their eyes on her because she's been on like all of these other stages and she's had eyes on her. So it's one of those, I think.
Who is the head judge? Do we know?
Don't know.
Hmm,
Sorry. Don't
not sure.
know.
Um, yeah, it's
Close. We're all
like
behind
you
her,
say,
aren't we? Everyone is.
the thing is, right? Like, yeah, the resilience that you need to have for this. But not only that, like physically, it's so hard.
Hmm.
Like peaking a physique that many times over the course of so many weeks and months.
Yeah.
And like to think then as well, like I agree. We don't know for sure, but like even if again it is one of those top three placings or whatever, and she doesn't get it at this show, I'm sure she will continue. Like just based off of how this season's gone, like she must feel like it is within touching distance.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
even still, like this isn't where it ends for her because if she does take that qualification, she's now got a 7 week stint where she's getting on stage again at the Olympia. Do you know what I mean? So it's hard work.
I think
Yeah.
one thing as well to look at is with these places, she's not losing to someone who's qualified for Olympia the very first time. Lisa Reef in the first two shows. Then you
Mm.
got Allison. Then the next one in Euro Muscle was Alice from Italy.
Yeah,
Um, you got Jordan obviously over at I can't remember the other ones, but basically they're all Olympians that have
mm,
taken a win, which
Yeah.
means she's mixing with the very best.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
not like somebody has come over and beaten her
Yeah.
for the Olympia ticket. But look, the whole point of this post was I'm keep my fingers crossed
Yeah.
for her, her husband, for Anna to actually make the Olympia. Obviously, I
I
saw you
know.
post your comment, Kerry, and you girls. We all want to see her there. Um,
That's the thing though that I found is like when someone does keep getting close, all the other girls want it for that person just as much.
yeah,
As much as like we all like want to win and stuff, which obviously we do, when you're at the show and you do see that person who has been grinding and grinding, you're like, credit where it's due. Like,
Definitely. Um, okay, I want to play this video. Have you seen this by chance?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, actually, the interview. Do you know what? I kept tuning in on the actual live stream. It was
I don't know
with
if you-
Frank Seppi, wasn't it? Yeah.
Can you hear this?
No, we can't.
Okay. All right. So no wise. Let me just see. What? I'll let you keep talking while I'm trying to sort this out.
Well, don't get too excited, I think. It's funny, of course, you're there with the clickbait caption on
Yeah,
the
but
video.
she's she's not
Oh,
gonna do it, is she?
No,
no.
no, no, of course not. I think the idea. Okay, so just for context, but I can't get the volume to work. Ashley was asked by Frank Sepe, would you ever consider like doing another class? She spoke about fitness, but the fact that there's far too much in regards to building a physique to meet that requirements, include routine. And she mentioned that if it was ever one class, it'd be more likely to be fit model, but that's not on her radar, nor is the Masters Olympia, which won't be until 2031 when she's actually qualified or be eligible to do the Masters Olympia. The reason why I put this out there is in my eyes, let me turn the screen off here. Reason why I put it on there is she clearly is like a legacy girl. Like she's 53 wins. It wouldn't surprise me that she keeps going. One, well, a few things. One, we see her secure one more Olympia title, like nearly a decade after her first one, over a decade since first one. We also see her at the Mass Olympia one day to get two titles in two
Yes.
different Olympias. And then I wouldn't be more surprised if she happened to do Fit Model, where she was the poster girl and added another Olympia title in a second division, which will all of a sudden would put her up as probably, arguably, the greatest female pro in history above Sydney, Andrea Shaw, Linda Murray, the list just because of what's up for grabs there. Am I thinking way more than it should be?
Do you know what this is, Ashley? So like you say, it's more than doable, to be honest.
It
So
would
I
just
guess
be
time will
iconic.
tell.
It would be iconic. Um, but
I
then
would love to see her win an Olympia, to be honest, just because like yeah, just her resilience to just keep showing up all the time. Like as much as like, yeah, she can step into a show and likely win, there must be like a great deal of pressure on that because if if you can look at the list and you'd probably be more worried about um like new names rather than like household names competing, just in case someone swoops in and then like you're like, oh my goodness. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Where
yeah,
would you rank Olympia history? Because just correct me if I'm wrong. She won three Olympia titles from 2013, 2014, 2015. Years of dates into it. So it's nearly been a decade since her last win.
Yes,
So
it
where
makes
would it
sense.
rank in Olympia history if Ashley, a decade later after her last win, re wins her fourth title? I mean, surely that is be one of the biggest wins
Yeah,
in
that's
Olympia
crazy.
history.
It's a very
A
big
decade.
gap, isn't it, in keeping up with the
mhm,
criteria and the change,
Exactly
the
that.
evolution of
Exactly that.
bikini. Yeah.
That's why I brought it up because if there's one look that has been evolving continuously, it's bikini. So
yeah.
for to be there at the start and potentially win it a decade later against competitors who you weren't really against when she was winning would just be absolute madness. I mean that would have to be the one of the iconic moments in Olympia history. And
Yeah.
that would really cement her legacy as one of the greatest, not in bikini, but overall across all divisions. There
It
we
would
go.
be crazy as well, like, at like if she did take the title back at the following Olympia, like seeing her on the posters again for the
Yeah.
Olympia. You know
Yeah.
how like all the winners get put on the posters? It used to be like on the elevators and stuff at the Orleans. Like that would feel like we've gone back in time almost to like when she was the champ.
Let's see.
Yeah.
That will be crazy. Okay, look, this is why we're going. The next segment, we've kind of looked at the weekend just gone. We've brought Ashley now. I'll bring it home, bring it back to the UK, and talk about our Kerry Sexton because, of course, it's Olympia. 7.5 weeks. You've got your fangirl Marnie. She's gonna be there, loving every moment of it, living every second. You before the stage, on the stage, afterwards. So yeah, it's gonna be quality. Let's just look back at what was the first, what year did you start competing?
2016. Oh my gosh, you're not going back.
I can't go back through all your Instagram pictures. I was just trying as well while you guys were talking. It's like, oh my God, I'm only in 2023. I've been
Okay,
doing it for
good.
like 5 minutes.
There are some comparisons, I guess, that you can see throughout that mix without you having to go all the way back.
Well, look, I'm going to try and bring up pictures once we get to the NPC scene. 2016. Now we've got quite a bit to go through, so we're going to have to be short with some of the answers because we've got a lot to go through
Yeah,
from
yeah.
2016 to 2025. 2016. What was the reason why you stepped on stage for the first place?
Basically, the all the like wrong reasons, as I would say now. I actually had an eating disorder back then. I was bulimic, so making myself sick, and I wanted to look good. I wanted to look how the competitors looked, and that was why I began my journey, to be honest with you. And then I hated being on stage. And I placed second, and the competitive side of me was like, they told me, like, oh, there's another show in like 4 weeks or 8 weeks. I can't remember how many it was. I did first in my five ever season. Um, I mean, I did five in my first ever season. I don't know if I just said that right. But anyway, yeah, so they told me there was another show, and I was like, well, we came second, so let's see if we can come first. And I actually did come first, and like it was through that that the like enjoyment kind of came. And then like another federation started, and they kind of wanted to use me as poster girl and gave me a lot of opportunities, and that's where I kind of found my feet. And then once I did compete, I felt like very like what's the word? It was like I did enjoy it. I enjoyed it now. Like I liked being on stage, and it was one of those things that I actually said to myself, if you can't be better, so as in like well, the last time I made myself sick, I think it was like 4 weeks before my first ever show. And I was like, that was it from there. Like it was like 1 week, 2 week, 3 week counting down, like without making myself sick, which is still like still haven't done. And basically I was like, if like you love this sport and you know there's another side to it, so you have to grow, you have to eat to grow. So that was like my new like challenge unlocked, eat to grow. And now I had a purpose to put on body weight and to grow. And then I said to myself, like, if I can't, this was then the second season, 2017. I was like, if I can't, like, because I did have times of like, binge, restrict, all that stuff, which was very common more so back then because off seasons weren't really spoke about in the early days. And then it got to like 2017, and I think I like binged again and it just felt awful. And I was like, look, I can't do this sport if I am like this. So my motivation then was I love this sport. I want to do it. I need to be better. As in like not binging and like doing it all properly and stuff like that. And then that's where the kind of evolution of all of that kind of came from, if I'm truly honest.
Marnie, I'm gonna flip it back to between two as well. Marnie, you started competing in 2015, am I right?
Yeah.
So when Kerry started taking the stage, she did five shows in 2016. Were you aware of Kerry at that period?
Course. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Because like me and Carrie did a photo shoot together in like
Yeah,
2018, I think it was, but it was like a group shoot. Because I don't know if you remember, Suki, you probably do to be fair, but they brought back Muscle and Fitness magazine, but the Muscle and Fitness Hers magazine.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they brought that back in the UK, and I remember like the first, I've probably still got copies of them actually somewhere, like tucked away in a box or something, but I think Paige Hathaway was on the cover of like the re first release. And yeah, like obviously myself, Kerry, there was a few other girls. I'm pretty sure Phoebe Hagen. Who else was there? Can you remember?
there was probably like even people like I remember a few times 'cause I shot with them a few times. I don't know,
Oh,
like
Leah
Bethany Ward,
Jocelyn. Yeah,
Michaela, Emma Hyman, like a lot of
yeah.
OGs. Yeah,
Yeah, so like we were all like part of that release, and it's crazy now looking back because like obviously neither of us were pros back then, like with the IFBB. And yeah, I of course I remember it so well. And like when Kerry was just saying there about how much times have changed, I feel like there'll be a lot of people listening who are relatively new to our sport that like have kind of just joined the community over the last few years. And it's just amazing now to see how much more information is out there for athletes on how to do things properly, because honestly when we started it was almost like a dieting contest. That's how it
it
felt for
was.
us. And like you would kind of do a prep and then struggle post show, and then the next logical thing to do would be, oh well, I should probably do a prep again. Like that's how I'm gonna get
It
back.
was. Yeah.
And it's mad like how much things have changed for female athletes in general, I think. Because there was never really the talk of off season or like yeah, you might be told
Coaches
like
off season.
yeah, like you
Thing.
need to grow muscle, but again, like this was back when bikini was only really just starting to like solidify how much muscle you really did need, to the point where you had to be intentional between shows and actually like go in the gym and train hard. So yeah, it's like just when you were saying that, I was like thinking about all those memories of like back in the day.
Kerry, when you started competing, you were working at Asda, right?
Yes, I would have been
So,
working. I would have been working at Asda. I was a PT and then I quit because I couldn't bear doing my 2 hours cardio in the gym and then training in the gym, then doing hit in the gym, then having clients in the gym. I went back to Asda.
so, at what point did, because there's going to be a lot of people that started that compete with full-time jobs. At what point did you pack in Asda to focus purely on bodybuilding? Because with the other federations as well, before you move over to NPC IFBB, you were very much the poster girl for the other fed, and you were traveling pretty much all over the world as well, competing internationally
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
winning money as well.
Yeah, so it was the let me think. So I think it was 2017. It was a whole year after I did my first show that I won British finals and was the first ever UK bikini pro for that federation. And then yeah, I went to China, South Korea, and then 2018 was like South Africa. But yeah, I left Asda and I worked at somewhere called B Insure, which was just like an insurance company.
Yeah.
And they were really good with like the amount of time they did allow me to have off, but I would take it like unpaid and stuff like that. And yeah, so I had a job through 2019 even. So when I was a pro, I still had a job and I was managing two jobs at that time. So I can relate to like those who do have like full-time jobs and everything like that because I had to do that and I was going through that with two jobs, bit of PT on the side and posing on the side, and then yeah, 2 hours straight on a Stairmaster, which it was back then. I used to literally wake up. I used to go to the gym, do 2 hours in a row on the Stairmaster. And then I used to do like 15 minutes hit afterwards. I was eating like 800 calories a day. I would have my meal one and then I would train. Then I would get showered, changed, and go to my job. Then in the evening, I would go out for a walk. And that was pretty much how life was back then. And then I got another job, which was in a sunbed shop, which allowed me to have my laptop there. So I actually built a members site way back when. So I started my members site, and then I joined another members site that was around at that time, and then I kind of like left that and was kind of like I don't really know what to do. And then I started. Someone reached out to me for online coaching, and that's kind of where all of that really took off. So from like around 2019, from then, and then I was living at home, and my dad said to me like, "You're doing like a lot. I think you need to go all in on like this online coaching." Um, because I was at the time like I can only manage like 10 people because I've got two other jobs. So it was really like difficult. And where I was still at home, although I was literally saving to like move out, which I did in 2019, um, then like it was just really hard. So my dad just gave me that and was like, come on, like you can go all in. We'll support you until, yeah.
How important was that you got your family blessing to support you and focus
It
on
was
that?
very, because I didn't have that much confidence. To be honest, with it all. It was kind of a bit of there wasn't as much knowledge back then, especially around like female health, and it literally just wasn't like one of my coaches, I remember saying like I researched about like losing your menstrual cycle but still having like the symptoms. And I was like, oh, like there is this thing, it's called a phantom period. So I said to my coach at the time, I think I'm having a phantom period and that's why my weight has gone up. And he was like, ha 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 ha, and sent like a ghost emoji. Like it just wasn't like a thing back then.
It's
It wasn't.
I feel like it just wasn't even spoken about.
No,
Like
it didn't exist. Like it just didn't. It was just yeah. So yeah, no. But family wise, they have always really really supported me to be able to do all these things. Like I've always been like I only had like a sponsorship way back when with another brand, which was like £200. So I had to pay my way and do my dues in other jobs and stuff to be able to fund all of this because it is a very expensive sport, of course. And I did put my all into I have, and that's all I've done ever since is just build my life to where it is to be able to do what I do from day to day now. So it's not like it just got handed to me. I've had to work hard to be able to be like obviously in the position that I am in. So yeah, it's been a really great journey.
So, what year did you make a transition to NPC?
So it was 2019.
So,
I was too
20,
scared in 2018, and then 2019, yeah, I went for it.
so 20, you made that transition to bikini. Now, obviously, right now, the bikini division is, it gets bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, sure.
But then also, there's a lot of girls who maybe compete in different federations who just sometimes have that fear factor dipping into NPC because they see that as that's the highest level of
That was me.
bikini. And that's why I'm going to relate back to you as well. So, how did you know that was the right time for you to transition in NPC, and what was the motivation behind it?
I felt like I had achieved all of what I felt like I wanted to achieve within that other federation. My goal was to make it to the Olympia. And there was only one route to get there. So in 2018, before some of my shows that I did, like South Africa and everything like that, with the other federation, I started to learn the posing for NPC, and I was about to register for a show, and I was like, "You're just not good enough." So I pulled out, and I did not do it. And then the next year, like that was it. Like I was like, I've achieved everything that I want to achieve. And now I just want to take the plunge, and I do want the IFBB Dream, the IFBB Pro Card, which I wanted ever since I knew what it was. So once I really like finally got into this competing thing, once I knew what that was the goal right from the start.
So, because the reason why I want to touch on that was you went to the NPC and you already had a very high profile as a bikini competitor with the other federation where you competed in, winning major titles all over the world. We knew who Kerry Sexton was going to NPC because she's won all this. Did you feel any pressure then going into the NPC to really win your pro card sooner rather than later because you've done so much, prior to another federation?
Um, I felt like I, it sounds really like I knew it was going to happen. I knew I was going to turn pro. I knew that year I was going to turn pro. I don't know why. I had a winning streak. I won like 20 something shows within my time. And I just, like, at that time, I think where physiques were at, I was just on that line of like, it's gonna happen, you know? And the people I had around me, my coach, Rob from LRF back then, like was you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it, you're just gonna get it. And I think I did just believe that, and I guess that's why I then ended up just going for it and just going for it good. Something the penny must have just dropped, and from being scared, it was all of a sudden the IFBB dream, the IFBB dream.
Marnie, do you remember much of 2019's Kerry success in achieving the IP Pro card?
Yeah. It's funny because again, like when Carrie's like talking about all these memories and stuff, um, we actually did step on stage together in 2019 in Class A bikini. And I have videos and pictures, and I've already showed Carrie these a few months ago. Um, that was um that was a really good show actually. I remember Jack
That's where I met
Sullivan
Mark.
was, yeah, wow. Jack Sullivan was the head judge at
Yeah,
Watford Coliseum, which was a really cool venue actually
Yeah, it's a
because
good video, that is.
yeah.
yeah, the stage and the lights and everything and like the backstage area, it was just yeah, like the good old days, like really when NPC Worldwide first started in the UK as well, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was my first show, I believe. Yeah. And then the next day was the British finals.
Yes, it was. It was a 2-day event.
And I
Yeah.
came, yeah. And then I came second in that because I bent over too much in my back pose. That was my feedback.
When did you win your pro card again? Which show was it?
It was Iceland, November
Of
the
course it
2nd,
was. Yes, Iceland.
2019.
Was that your second pro qualifier, or was that how many
No,
how many pro? No, no. In fact, no. I lied. Sorry.
yeah, how
Of
many was it?
course, it all come flashing back. All
Six
the
shows in eight
shows,
weeks.
the cloak. Yeah, that's it. It all just come back to me now. Yes, of course. That journey. How many shows? Sorry, over that week period. Over what period?
6 shows in 8 weeks.
And
Did
what was
you
the most back-to-back peak week? Sorry,
It was literally like, yeah, every week except from the gap of the two
I remember this.
between the last one and Iceland. I can't even remember. I know I did a fit parade.
I was gonna ask, did you do the amateur Olympia that was at Lee Valley?
Yes.
Isn't that the one where Mark won his pro card?
No, he won that in 20, well, he won that in 2018.
Oh, okay, so it was the same show but the year
Yes.
prior.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Did
Yeah.
you?
And I won my height class there, but didn't
Yeah.
win. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure we were you moved into class B at that show?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
Yeah.
I was in class A because I'm so short, and I remember you weren't in my class, but I thought
Yeah.
you'd been there because that show was like,
Janet Lew and that went there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Kim Oddle was there doing a seminar as well. Yeah,
He
I
told me I was going to turn pro that day.
did he really?
He
Were
told
you
me.
we I remember you told me that when you first met Mark, then you were just more talking terms that it was more like advice. Was he giving you advice throughout that period?
Nah, it wasn't really advice, to be fair. It was just like I was just telling him what like I was up to be honest. I ghosted him quite a bit. I saw him, yeah. This is so funny. I saw him at that British show and like he had been like we had spoken before, whatever. There was nothing like there at all, kind of just like he replied to my training videos. I think we spoke about like RDLs and both of us hurting our back or something like that. And then I saw him at the show, and my bikini had broke. Anyway, so I saw him and he came in and was like, hi. And I was like, have you seen Rob? Like coming up the toilet, like, have you seen Rob? And he was like, no. And I was like, oh, like all in a fluster, my bikini's broken. Like, and then he went and found Rob and was like, oh, by the way, I saw Rob. And actually he went and like found him. And then that was kind of like, yeah, that was that. And then like, yeah, I was on my streak of show to show to show. And like I think he like DM'd me to say like, well done or something like that. But, or are you okay? And I think I ignored him and replied like weeks later. And it was just like one of them. And
When
then
was this? Was it 2019? Sorry.
yeah, and then Hader, his friend,
Yeah.
was doing Iceland, and Hader said to me, he was like in my corner, and was like, "I like do Iceland," and I was like, "I'm exhausted now, like I just don't know if I can do this show." And then he said, "Well, if it's a money thing, Mark Hector is going because like he's my mate, and like I want him to go." But like Mark had a job at the council at that time. He wasn't like all that well off. So he was like contemplating going because of finances and stuff. And then so I wrote out this message like, hey, do you want to share a hotel room? Like, what the hell? Who does that? I don't barely even know the guy, but I'm like, my pro card's on the line here. Hayden's like, your pro card's on the line here. Like, are you gonna do it? It's gonna save you money. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. Then I wrote it out, delete it, wrote it out, delete it. And then I'm like, do you know what? Imagine I turn pro, wrote it out, sent it. And then
What's
he
his
was
reply?
like, yeah, he did. He was like, yeah, like he wasn't gonna go. And then he what? And then when I sent that, he was like, I'm going. And then we just like really got on from literally like the minute he was a proper gentleman. I remember he walked on like the side of the road where the cars were. He was carrying my bags, like all this stuff. There wasn't really like anything there. When I first, well, I say that when I first met him, I did actually send Carly Thornton a message saying, I'm in love. And when I first saw him, I was like, we were walking through the hotel thing, and I was like, there's an ice machine over there. So it's like a running joke. I don't know why I said it. I really don't. But I messaged two people saying that. And then yeah, and that's how it all began.
I wonder what Mark thought when he got that message about can you stay in the room. In fact, I think the only way I'm going to find out is if I just add him onto this now and let's ask him
What?
as he's been listening to the entire story just then, and I'm hoping now he actually connects. He's on his phone. Um, Oh,
Wait,
this is
what?
all build up to it. I was hoping it would just connect straight
Oh
away.
my goodness.
Oh,
Marnie, did you know this?
I
Marnie, did you know this?
had
okay. I'm
no
just
idea.
waiting. I was hoping for this grand moment where it just like
Where is
rocks
he?
appears, but now it's just. Oh, let me
Oh,
see
he's
if he showed
probably
me a
having the
message.
mayor.
I know he's used his phone to connect. So just so everyone knows, the person here at, in fact, that's your phone number just been left out in here now.
Oh God,
There we
yeah.
go.
You're gonna have to edit that. You can edit over that.
Oh God, no. I'll
Oh God.
Do I need to go
I'll
and
figure
help him?
I'll figure something out. Um, oh,
Mark, where are you?
I had this whole grand gesture planned,
Oh,
and it's all
Why is
all
it always you two that have problems connecting to a Zoom
I
call?
don't know, but I feel like I need to go and help him.
Mark, just jump on Kerry's camera. We'll have you both on there at the same time. Just can you hear him or
I heard
no? Has
something.
he messaged me? I know he's not messaging me back. He's just saying that Kerry's using the webcam. I'll join through my phone.
I'm not actually using the webcam. I can give
I
it to
can
him.
hear you guys.
Oh,
Oh,
no. Where are
we can hear
you?
you.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Okay,
Got a webcam here.
I tell you what. Why don't we just get you to jump in the room where Kerry is? At least that way we have you
Yeah,
both on the same
absolutely
camera.
fine.
All
Yeah, I'll
right.
come down now. Fine.
It's hilarious. I
That is
can't believe you
brilliant.
just. How did you? Oh my goodness.
All right, fine. We'll do it this way.
All right, let
I
me
was
just
going to have you
move.
two in separate
So I need
rooms.
space. I need space. He needs space. That's hilarious. You just heard all of that.
I didn't hear all of
Oh,
it, no.
Ah, that was my best bit as well. I was hoping you would hear the whole
Oh,
thing.
I was waiting. Nothing happened. I was waiting
Oh,
for you to accept me in. Can you see me?
yeah.
he's gonna have to
Well,
edit it because your number was on there.
Yay.
Oh, yeah, that's not ideal.
Here we
oh,
are.
basically, where I wanted to add you was at the point when Kerry was talking about the fact that Hader told her to message you about staying in your apartment in Iceland, and Kerry was like, "Oh, do I do it? Do I not? Do I do it? Do I not?" And she's like, "Nah, the pro card's on the line. Get the message sent." What do you remember of that moment?
I remember it pretty clearly actually, because at that point where Hayden was booking his room, he expected me to stay in the same place as him. But I was speaking with Kerry, and it just made sense, as Hayden was staying with his wife, for me and Kerry just to have pretty much the same room.
It was
Um,
finances as well for both of us back then.
yeah,
So
so it kind of just
It's
worked out
finances,
right. Yeah. Well,
of course.
seeing sort of how it panned out from Iceland, and yeah, we've been together pretty much ever since.
we have.
And that was obviously the show where the journey as an NPC compared to ended, because that's where you got your pro card.
And that's our first ever photo as well together, actually.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, at that show.
A photo frame somewhere, or is it just on your phone?
Just
Is
on
it
the
some?
phone.
It'll be
Oh,
favorited on my phone.
Yeah.
Definitely favorited on my phone.
so look, Mark, what we're doing, we're just talking about Kerry's journey to the Olympia stage, Asda to Olympia, and you got your pro card in 2019, and then start the journey in the IFE Pro League. So, what year was it when you made your official pro debut?
It was 2020. Yeah, it was 2020. Because that was lockdown, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It
lockdown.
was
We
lockdown, yeah, yeah.
all around that time. So we went on stage with like masks and everything.
What show was that?
Yeah, which one was it?
The
NPC European
Yeah, NBC European.
in Alicante.
Oh, yeah, when it was in Spain.
Yeah.
And I got last call out, fourth call out, and I was like the 44th person or whatever it was in that lineup.
But
Mm.
let's talk about that because I mean, look, even Ryan Terry placed last in his first pro show. You've gone through NPC, absolutely killing it, like the best, one of the best amateurs in Europe, and you've got your pro card. You then start in, as people always say, at the bottom in the pro league, and you got to work your way up. Seeing the lineup of 44 girls, you placed last. How did you reflect on that first show to then put together your next plan?
So it was a bit of a strange one because Mark also competed. And obviously I was like, I kind of switched myself off to that. I was like, it was a really weird one because I was like super happy for him and then like a bit like, oh my goodness, like what just happened um to me. But I think I definitely had my moment where I was like upset, but then that just turned into like that was because I was so used to winning. So I had to be like humbled to be shown what this is all about. And yeah.
Can I just add something as well? It
But
wasn't until after the show when me and Kerry were speaking that she actually said that she was very close to pulling out of the show just because of how she felt on show day. But because she had booked, her intention was to compete. That's why she's seen it through. But also, she's kind of didn't want to take away from the fact that I'm trying to be in my zone. I'm ready to compete. And she's there to also compete as an athlete. She's got to turn up and she's got to still put on
Mm.
performance.
So yeah, I just did what I could. And it was a hard one because people had me like tipped to be like top three and all this kind of stuff. And honestly, like the peak didn't really go that well, to be honest, back then. So that was a learning curve for sure.
how many shows did you do in 2020? Sorry, I'm making think back like 5 years now.
It was I did Alicante, then I did the British and came seventh or eighth, I want to
Was
say.
that the year that they had to push the Bikini Pro show like the few days before because they were going to lock down again? I remember that. Oh my God.
I literally remember that because I remember Mark being like, "Should we eat? Is it gonna happen?" And I was like, "Wait, no, I think we should like wait." And then Ian like sorted it all out, and obviously we didn't eat. We did the show earlier.
Oh God.
Then I did. I definitely did an Italy show, and maybe
Just
that
that for you.
maybe that was it. Yeah.
Where were
So,
you placing after that? Yeah, like after the Spain show, like what can you remember?
I've got
what
the
was your best placing?
down on my phone. I've got it. It's on my Instagram somewhere. What placings I got on all of them. Maybe like eighth or ninth.
Did you ever take a year out, by the way? Or you always compete every single year?
I had to take 2021 off due to breaking my foot.
That was it. Yes. Okay. So 2020, obviously you've now made your official debut in the Pro League. And what would you say was your biggest learning experience from that rookie year? Because everyone goes through their rookie season and we can look back at hindsight of things they may have should have done or should have done better. But what was the biggest thing you took away that you were able to implement into future seasons?
The fact that I needed to work harder to put on more muscle mass and I had to accept like the placings for yeah, accept them for what they were, but knowing that wasn't like my final destination, for example. Like there was more to come because I was never gonna quit. So I could hashtag the Olympia dream because it was gonna happen one day if I didn't quit. And yeah, I guess that's it. It was learning to ride the wave of that the platings may not come. And then I remember like in 2022, I think I can't remember I came for the first show, but I remember I think it was a British again. And my coach at the time told me to shut it down, you need more size. And I was like, no, I'm not ready to shut it down yet. Like I do a lot of shows in a year and I'm just not ready. I think I've got more and I wanted to be more conditioned and I wanted to see how I did fare. So I kind of trusted my intuition a bit on that one. I ended up going to Italy and that was when I took third place out of 19, 18 or 19 um, competitors. And that's when I was like, it's fluke. Um, I thought it was fluke to be fair, and then I did do more shows and placed maybe like I can't even remember. You'd have to go through the list, like fifth, seventh, maybe back down again. Um,
Before
12th in Japan, something like that.
Mm.
before we look at the other show, I just want to show my 2021. I want to throw this to you, Kerry and Mark, because this is something you both had to go through. In 2021, that was obviously the year that, like I said, you had to take the year off because of breaking your foot. How was that year for you both? Because obviously, Mark, you're seeing someone and your partner who loves bodybuilding and now has to take a year out, having start building momentum and done all the work to get into the pro league. And obviously for yourself, Kerry, you've done the work, you're in the pro league, and now you've got this setback where in a way, you need to go through the recovery, and then you got to start again with more girls having developed, going to the pro league, and maybe you might need to take a step back and build yourself back up. So I'm really interested to see how you both dealt with that in two different ways. So I mean, Kerry, I'll let you start first, and then I'll key to Mark's your thoughts.
So I still, even the day that I did it, um, I went to the
How
gym
did you do it again, by the way? Sorry, how did you do it?
my days. So Mark was outside sweeping the stones, for once. And yeah, he was outside sweeping the stones. And what he did was he moved all the shoes. All the shoes were like by the door or something like that. And I had a posing client. So I like ran downstairs, and then went to like run back upstairs. I threw the shoes like out the way, which then I threw at the bottom of the stairs, went upstairs, forgot my phone, which I needed for the client, bombed it downstairs and went over on one of Mark's Jordans because they're obviously big, chunky, hard shoes. And I just remember just putting my foot under our shoe rack because I just did not want to look at it because I just had this wave of sickness literally go through me. And I was like, I've done something here. So I think I might have shouted
Yeah.
or something. And then he came in and was like, what's going on? I take your foot out from
What's
under
that to my Jordan?
shoe rack. Yeah, what's happened to my Jordan? Is it all right? And then yeah, I think my posing client called, he took the call, ended the call, and then we kind of went from there. I think I just spent all day kind of like just getting ready really for the gym. And then I went to the gym and Mark told someone in the gym, like look at her foot, like, don't you think she should go to the hospital? And I was just doing upper. And they were like, yeah, I think you should. And then I did. And then yeah, so um I fractured the metatarsal and then 4 weeks later, in my sleep, don't ask me how. I was like 4 weeks into a 12-week recovery and I had a hairline fracture in a different place. So another thing to get over. So yeah, it was tough, but I don't know, just kind of cracked on doing what I could. I think I was still filming for like YouTube and stuff back then, still trying to go to the gym and do whatever I could do, even though it wasn't much. And I was watching my leg like waste away. And my coach at the time was telling me, you need to keep eating because of recovery. And I think that was because I was at like in an off season, that was the hardest part, was like putting on body fat but losing muscle at the same time. And then yeah, that's it really, I guess, from my side.
I mean, what do you remember of that, Mark? Because obviously that's for that year as well. That's obviously you've seen the drive that Kerry has to succeed in whatever she does. So to then to see that break a foot and then obviously have to take 2021 season out because of your Jordans. Um, how how did how did you deal with that year? Obviously seeing Kerry unable to compete.
For me, I was just trying to support her as best as possible. I think the hardest thing was she didn't get the results she wanted in 2020. So to then have the setback of not being able to train at full capacity in 2021, when she's got this drive, this extra fire to actually come back and be a better athlete, that was quite tough to take. And like Kerry said, during the off-season period, this is where you naturally put on a little bit more body fat. But with eating the surplus to try and help recovery, but then not being able to do steps, not being able to do cardio, that was mentally tough because it came to a point when she's even taking progress pictures. Like, I don't really want to see my pictures because it's not building the physique that I want to build at this moment in time. But
Mm.
something she always said, and the coach at the time was saying, is you're going to come back better, you're going to regain that muscle, but you need to be doing what you're doing now to actually drive you forwards to get to that point where you can come back and be a better athlete. So from my standpoint, it was just trying to be supportive. If she wanted to be in a feels and say how she's actually feeling, just allow her to be, because from the outside, a lot of people be like, oh, it's all right, it's okay. But actually, sometimes if you want to actually express how you're feeling, I think you should be able to do that without someone trying to give you a pat on the back and sort of a cuddle. So I was that sort of voice of reasoning, but also trying to help to support her to know that this isn't going to be the defining moment for her career. If anything, you're going to look back in the future and think, right, this was something what's part of the journey to help me to become better. And if I go back to where Kerry said about 2022, her first show where she wasn't quite on, and the coach said at the time to shut it down, just before that, it was the Arnold UK, and I applied for that. We both did. I got accepted, and Kerry didn't get accepted. So it's almost like what a kick in the teeth. Both of us live together. Both of us have applied. She's not got the invite. How do you then bounce back from that? So there's always been like a drive and a fire within her. It's like, well, I know that I can be a better athlete, and I also know that I'm going to get the Olympia dream. So I'll just keep doing what I need to do in my sort of corner. When my time comes, it will come, but I won't give up.
You just mentioned about defining moments. So I want to throw over some Marty and Mark here. I want to fast forward because we know Kerry's journey in the programs at 22, 23, some near misses. I want to talk about 2024 because this was the defining moment. I want to talk about Romania. Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, you weren't at that show, were you?
I wasn't,
You weren't.
no.
Okay, perfect. Marnie, where were you at that show? I know you were at Romania, but do you remember where you were when Kerry was on stage?
Sat watching Instagram like a hawk, and I remember seeing the videos and pictures, and I was like, yeah, she's got the best back shot. I remember commenting on the picture, like just tagging Kerry, like I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Yeah, I remember it so clearly. And then
Mark,
she got it.
we're going to that moment in a moment. Mark, what do you remember of Romania? Were you watching it on Instagram? Was there a live feed? Where were you
I
at
was
that
at
point?
home watching a live feed right here in my living room. My mum was here. My youngest daughter was here as well. The reason why I wasn't there because I was going through different appointments for my shoulder. So
Yeah, I
people
know. Yeah.
outside didn't know, but I was here watching, going back and forth with Kerry speaking. Kerry's got this thing where she comes off stage and if she's top two, she's like, "Oh, they didn't even look at me." Or she's done the pre-judging, like they didn't even look at me. I was like, "They did look at you. Just keep focused, get off your phone, and just keep your eyes on the prize." And I remember when she got the first call out and she was in centre, I was like, "This is it." I
Yeah,
remember speaking
yeah.
to my mum and my daughter was like, "This is it." And then just before they sort of called her name, I was literally on the edge of my seat and the table's here. I banged the table so loud. How I didn't break my hand, I don't know. But like the emotion, what just came over me, and my daughter's looking at me like, I've never seen my dad like this before because she's only like 7 years old. And my mum's like, yes. And it's just a feeling of being so overwhelmed and just everything what she's gone through from the last call out, the last place, to where she transitioned to getting seconds, getting thirds, and even when she's getting second and thirds, it's a fluke. It's not a fluke. And to go to Romania in the stack lineup and get that result, I was so chuffed for her because I know what it's taken for her to get to that level, and it's definitely not a fluke.
Mate,
You,
Romania of all shows, everybody knows that show is no joke. Like it's a Wings of Strength. It's a hard lineup. So if you say that the F word being fluke one more time,
I'm so
yeah.
Mark, do
that.
you remember? Obviously, I remember seeing pictures of the FaceTime interaction between yourself and Kerry. I mean, what was the first? Do you remember that first interaction when you? I mean, who called who first? Kerry? Did you call Mark?
I think I was trying to get through to her, but she's also trying to speak to Meg, who was there at the time, her
Yeah.
coach. The emotion, like I pretty much like my eyes were filling up. My daughter's looking at me like, my dad doesn't cry. Uh, it was just so much emotions just rolled into one. And I remember her saying when they announced me, like I didn't expect it. It's like you just stood there, you froze, like yeah, because I didn't think they was going to call me. So I could definitely tell she was in shock, but I think the realization was starting to slowly sink in as well.
Yeah, that was us. Yeah, yeah, still haven't got the words for that. Like, it's crazy when you've just worked and worked and worked for something and you're used to hearing you're not first. I didn't want to get my hopes up. It was
I've
just
got a
like,
question.
yeah,
Did you have that same feeling when you were given your IFBB Pro card? Was it the same emotion or different?
Different. It was
Really?
definitely
Okay.
different. Yeah, it just was. I think it was a lot more like shock, and like it felt like years had like just compiled like up, and things that I'd been through and like all that stuff just for that like moment. It was just insane, to be honest. It really was. Really was.
Now we're in 2025. You've got your ticket to Olympia.
Mm.
The man over your shoulder is somebody who all of UK want to see on the Olympia stage with you. I mean, Kerry, I want to throw it to yourself at this. How how special could this be if we could see you both at the Olympia? Mark, I'm trying to put any pressure on you here, but I'm just thinking about here. I'm just saying what all UK are thinking. That we want to see this. We want to see our golden UK Bible couple at the Olympia. But Kerry, this is now you're in a position where you're gunning for Mark to make the Olympia.
It's going to happen. I have full faith in him and his journey, and everything that he's been through has and will lead to this moment in Italy when he qualifies for the Olympia. I have full faith. I get to see the work that's going in every single day. Not only that, but the work and the structure and the physique that he has. Yeah, I've just got full faith. I really have. I really, really have.
Mark, I'm assuming you're mimicking the same faith that Kerry has in yourself.
Complete tunnel vision. I've got one goal in mind, and that goal is to win my first show this year in Italy. The best way I can put it is I almost had my opportunity to qualify taken away from me with everything what's happened with my shoulder. Last year, I came back, competed in 2024 with what was pretty much a 5 week prep on the back of a mini cup. I placed fourth out of over 20 in a lineup of really top athletes, and that wasn't what I would class as a proper prep.
No way.
This year, on the back of that competition prep in 2024, it's been the most productive off season I've ever had. It's been the best prep I've ever had, and I'm just focused on what I need to do for myself. Tunnel vision, and that's not from an arrogant standpoint. It's simply that everything what I've done to get myself in this position, just like Kerry through those hardships for the injuries, is aligning me to where I need to be. And that's my focus, not who's turning up, not who I'm competing against, not who's working with who. That's not my concern. Getting tagged on Instagram is nice, but I just know that I need to stay focused on my goal, and my goal is winning Italy.
Where do
Mic
I go
drop.
from there? Where do I go from there? Well,
Yeah.
look, I mean, yeah, I'm just so. I've said it. I've told this to Kerry so many times. I'm sure Marnie has said this to you many times. You probably Kerry, all your DMs post say this as well. There is a strong consensus in the UK Bible community that we really want to see Kerry and Mark at the Olympia with your Olympia jackets because both of you two have faced defining moments. Kerry's defining moment 2024 of all the setbacks, and Mark actually finally given a second chance after his injury and now given a full calendar year to go and step on stage in what can also be to be a defining moment for Mark Hector. I mean, there's plenty of other media outlets. Fuad's recent YouTube with Akeem saying that he sees Mark winning, who of course you faced last year in Spain. Yeah, there the consensus around Mark is because people see that potential and they also see that this defining moment is coming and it's coming potentially in 2.5 weeks' time in Italy. So I think that's a great place to wrap it up, Marty, unless you want to add something else.
Just, I think really that's what makes a great athlete, to be honest. Like at its core, it's when you can come back from obstacles and hardships like you two have. So, yeah, that's all I want to say on that, really. And I'm excited for you both.
I know we both really obviously want this. We both want to win Italy. We think it would be obviously such a special moment if we both get to win this together as well. And yeah, and then obviously we get to do our first ever Olympia together as well. So I'm looking forward to that moment. It's going to be special.
Guys, that is a wrap of this week's Bikini Insider. We got special guest Mark Hector joining us. So, guys, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you very much.